You're sitting there wondering why she's gone silent. No texts, no calls, no word from her at all. You're probably thinking she's lost interest, or worse, she's playing games. But here's the truth. When a woman goes no contact, it's not as simple as you think. And no, this isn't the part where I tell you that you need to beg, chase, or convince her you're worth her time. You're better than that, and I'm here to help you understand exactly why she's doing this, and what you need to do next. First off, no contact isn't a bad sign for you. In fact, it can be a sign that she's feeling something she hasn't fully processed yet. Maybe it's confusion, maybe it's insecurity, or maybe it's just that you've given her the space she needs to realize how much she actually values you. Here's the kicker. The way you respond to this silence is what separates the men who get pushed away from the ones who spark attraction and get the respect they deserve. If you're sitting there thinking, what do I do now? You're in the right place. In the next sections, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to do when she goes silent and how to flip the script to your advantage. No games, no mind tricks. Just real solid tactics that get results in the modern dating world. It's all about being the man she wants, not the one she feels she has to run from. Ready to take control? Let's dive in. 1. Don't chase. Let her come to you. When she pulls away and goes silent, your first instinct might be to chase her down. Text after text, call after call, maybe even showing up unannounced just to get a reaction. I'm going to be blunt. Don't. When a woman is in no contact mode, chasing her is the last thing you should do. You're giving her power. The more you chase, the more she'll pull away. That's just how it works. Let me tell you why. Women are drawn to strength. And when you chase, you show weakness. You show that you're desperate, that you're waiting for her to decide if you're worth her time. You don't need that kind of energy in your life. The reality is, you don't want to be in a situation where you're begging for her attention, especially when she's already made it clear she's pulling back. So, stop. Take a deep breath. Step back. And stop putting your life on hold for her. Instead, take control of the situation. The key here is to give her space and time to miss you. Let her wonder what you're up to. Let her feel the absence of your presence. If you're constantly available and chasing after her, she won't have the chance to feel the absence of your energy, and that's crucial. Women need to experience the pull of a man who isn't always around, someone who doesn't need her to validate his worth. You're a man with a purpose, a life, and priorities that go beyond her. Show her that. Now, I know what you're thinking, but if I don't chase, won't she just forget about me? Here's the thing. If she's really interested in you, she won't forget. Women don't forget men who are high value. They just need to realize your value on their own, and the only way that can happen is if you back off. The moment you start chasing, you're robbing her of the chance to figure this out for herself. This tactic works because you're acting from a position of strength. Instead of chasing her, you're putting the ball in her court. You're telling her that you're not going to beg for her attention or approval. You're confident enough to let her come to you when she's ready. And believe me, if she's got any genuine interest in you, she will come around. Women can't resist men who know their worth and act accordingly. What happens next is entirely up to you. You can continue being the man who chases and chases, or you can be the man who respects himself enough to pull back and give her the space she needs. Trust me, the second approach is the one that gets results. At the end of the day, a woman who goes silent is either working through her feelings, dealing with something on her own, or trying to see if you're really the kind of man who can stand his ground. The more you chase, the more you fail her test. The more you back off and show that you're not desperate for her attention, the more likely she is to respect you. And respect is what ultimately leads to attraction. So take a step back, stop chasing, and let her come to you when she's ready. You'll be in a far better position to win her over than if you continue to chase. The power is in your hands. 2. Let her see you. Living your life. One of the biggest mistakes men make when a woman goes silent is to get consumed by the situation. You sit there staring at your phone, checking it every few minutes, trying to figure out when she's going to text back. You might even feel like you've lost control over your own life. Here's the hard truth. When you start obsessing over her silence, you lose sight of your own worth. You're not waiting for her to come back into your life. You're simply letting her control your emotions and your actions. Here's what you need to understand. When a woman goes silent, it's often because she wants to see how you react. Are you going to sit around, brooding and waiting for her to come back? Or are you going to live your life as you normally would, showing her that you don't need her to feel complete? The key is to live your life as if she doesn't exist. No, I'm not saying you should forget about her entirely. But what I am saying is that you should never let her silence derail your world. You've got your own goals, ambitions, and passions. Don't let them slip just because she's not around. Whether it's work, hobbies, friends, or anything else that gives your life meaning, double down on those things. Let her see that you're still the same man, living your life, moving forward, and succeeding. The reason this works so well is simple. People, including women, are attracted to those who are busy with something greater than themselves. When you show her that your world doesn't revolve around her, you're subtly communicating that you have your own value. You're not just waiting for her to make up her mind. You've got a life, and she's not the center of it. That's powerful. The more you focus on yourself, the more interesting you become. Women respect men who are self-sufficient and driven. They don't want a man who will drop everything just because they've gone quiet. In fact, they respect a man who can maintain his own life and continue pushing forward even when things aren't perfect in his romantic life. By taking care of your own needs and desires, you're showing her that you're not desperate for her approval or validation. You have everything you need within yourself. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore her completely. If she reaches out, you can respond, but don't let it consume you. Keep your responses brief, confident, and focused on your life, not on her. Show her that you've got things to do, places to be, and people to see. When she sees that you're still living your life without her, she'll start to realize that you don't need her to feel fulfilled. That's a huge shift in the dynamic between you two. By living your life fully and with purpose, you'll start to change the way she views you. She'll see you as someone who is high value, someone who doesn't need her to complete him. This is the kind of energy that women find irresistible. They don't want to be with a man who is waiting for them to rescue him from loneliness. They want to be with a man who is already whole and confident in his own skin. So, stop waiting around. Stop putting everything else on hold just to see if she'll text you back. Get busy living your life. It's the only thing that will truly grab her attention and make her see that you're the kind of man she can't afford to lose. And when you live this way, not only will you increase your chances of winning her back, but you'll also increase your own respect for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you deserve a woman who adds value to your life, not one who takes it away. 3. Focus on building yourself, not just winning her back. When a woman goes silent, it's easy to fall into the trap of obsessing over how to get her back. You start thinking about what you can do to make her notice you again, how you can win her favor, and what moves you need to make to get her to reach out. But here's the deal. The best way to get her to notice you isn't by focusing on her at all. It's by focusing on yourself. Let her see you evolve into the best version of yourself, and she'll either come back or respect you from a distance. You see, when you're constantly thinking about how to win her back, you're putting all your energy into her, while she's probably using her time to think about what she really wants out of the relationship. Women, like men, are drawn to individuals who are constantly growing and improving. So instead of wondering what's going on in her mind, you need to be focused on what's going on in yours. What areas of your life can you improve? Where can you get better? How can you become the best version of yourself? Start by looking at your health. Are you taking care of your body? Are you working out regularly, eating right, and making sure you're physically strong and healthy? If not, now's the time to start. Women are attracted to men who have discipline, who take care of themselves and their bodies. It shows strength and self-respect, which are qualities that immediately draw respect and admiration. Next, focus on your career or your passions. Are you where you want to be professionally? Is there room for improvement? Or do you need to push harder to reach the next level? Now is the time to pour energy into your work, your business, or your personal projects. Don't get stuck on the idea that your romantic life should be your main focus. When a woman sees you working hard, striving to succeed, and continually improving, it will make you more attractive to her. It shows that you're someone with purpose, someone who isn't just living for a relationship, but who has ambitions and goals of his own. What about your social life? Are you spending time with friends, meeting new people, and expanding your network? Building a strong social circle makes you more appealing to a woman. A man with a great social life is seen as confident, outgoing, and valuable, traits that are naturally attractive. If you're always isolated, waiting for her attention, you're not showing that you can thrive on your own. If you don't have a full life outside of her, then your value drops in her eyes. By making your own world better, you not only become more interesting, but you also show her that you're not dependent on her for happiness. And then there's the mental aspect. Are you improving your mindset? Are you reading, learning, and challenging yourself to think differently? Building mental resilience is just as important as physical strength. Women are attracted to men who have a strong sense of who they are, who are emotionally stable, and who can handle challenges without falling apart. A man who is constantly working on his mindset becomes a source of strength, which is exactly what women want in a partner. You need to understand this. When you focus on building yourself, you're not just improving for her. You're improving for you. You're becoming a better man, a stronger man, a more confident man. And that's exactly the kind of man a woman wants to be with. She doesn't want a man who is desperate to win her back. She wants a man who is living his life, becoming better, and who doesn't need her validation to feel whole. As you continue to work on yourself, you'll start to see results in every area of your life. The woman who once went silent may notice the changes in you, and when she does, she'll be intrigued. She'll want to know more about this man who is growing and evolving. And even if she doesn't come back, you'll be in a far better place mentally, emotionally, and physically than you were before. Building yourself is the ultimate power move, and it's the most effective tactic to handle her silence. Keep improving, keep growing, and you'll become the kind of man who attracts the right people, her or someone even better. 4. Master the art of detachment. One of the most powerful strategies in the modern dating world, especially when she's doing no contact, is mastering the art of detachment. It's a game changer, not only for your relationship with her, but for your personal growth. Detachment isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about understanding that your emotional state and happiness should never hinge solely on her or any other woman. Detachment is about reclaiming your inner peace, your focus, and your self-worth, regardless of what she does. When a woman pulls away, it's tempting to become consumed by the situation. You start feeling anxious, questioning your worth, wondering what you did wrong. But the truth is, your worth should never be determined by her actions or reactions. Detachment allows you to free yourself from this emotional roller coaster. Instead of obsessing over her silence, you're able to maintain control over your emotions and, more importantly, your mindset. This is key because it's your mindset that influences everything: your actions, your mood, and how women perceive you. Detachment also allows you to be patient. And patience, as much as you may hate to hear it, is one of the most attractive qualities you can have. When you're detached, you're not desperate for her to come back into your life. You're not sitting by your phone, waiting for her message. You're living your life, doing what you do, working on yourself, and continuing to move forward. And guess what? That energy, that calmness, that sense of being centered, this is what women find irresistible. They don't want a man who is desperate for their attention. They want a man who is stable, grounded, and who values himself enough to not get bogged down by her silence. You might be thinking, how do I detach without seeming like I don't care? Here's the key. You can care, but you don't need her to validate your worth. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about her or the relationship. It means you're not emotionally dependent on it. It means you're living your life with or without her. You're not sitting around waiting for her to make the next move. Instead, you've already moved forward with your own life. Detachment works because it shifts the power dynamic. When you're emotionally detached, you're no longer the one chasing. You're no longer acting from a place of neediness or desperation. Instead, you're acting from a place of confidence and self-assurance. You know your worth, and you know that if she's truly interested, she'll come around. If she doesn't, that's fine too. You'll move on, grow, and become even better. The secret to detachment is not to suppress your emotions, but to gain control over them. It's about not letting her silence dictate your happiness. You have to remind yourself that you are in control of your emotional state, and her actions don't define your worth as a man. When you can master detachment, you stop giving her the power to hurt you or to make you feel uncertain. 5. Give her space, then let her come to you. One of the most critical mistakes men make when a woman goes silent is thinking that they need to chase her to win her back. You start texting more, calling more, showing up unexpectedly, trying to force things. But here's the truth. The more you chase her, the more you push her away. Women need space to miss you. They need to feel like they don't have you under constant surveillance. Giving her space is one of the most powerful tactics you can use to make her come back, and in some cases, it may even be the key to her respecting you more. The idea of space is a tricky concept for many men because it feels like a rejection. It feels like she's pulling away and you're losing ground. But in reality, it's an opportunity. It's your chance to stop showing her that you're available at her beck and call. When you give her space, you're not being passive or weak. You're being strategic. You're taking a step back, letting her breathe, and letting her realize what life is like without you in it. The truth is, when a woman has time to miss you, the dynamic shifts. She starts to wonder what you're up to, why you're not reaching out, and how you're handling things without her. The absence creates a feeling of longing, something she didn't have when you were constantly in front of her. But it's important to get this right. Giving her space doesn't mean disappearing entirely. It's not about ghosting her or ignoring her completely. It's about letting her feel your absence without acting as though you've been hurt by it. You need to show her that you're okay without her, that your life doesn't revolve around her. You're still living, still going out, still working on your goals. You're not sitting around consumed by the thought of what she's doing or why she's gone quiet. You're just living your life. Space also works because it forces her to deal with her own feelings. When you're not constantly chasing her, she's forced to take a step back and assess her own emotions. This is when you start to play the long game. She begins to realize that you aren't desperate for her, and that's what creates attraction. You're a man of value because you don't need her approval or validation to feel complete. This makes her think twice about taking you for granted. During this time, you can focus on your own life, just as you should have been all along. Get busy with your own interests, passions, and goals. Keep up your fitness routine, work on personal development, hang out with friends, and keep building yourself into the best version of who you are. As you continue to improve yourself, you'll become more attractive not just to her, but to others as well. 6. Show her your life doesn't revolve around her. When a woman pulls back and goes into no contact mode, the worst thing you can do is start to base your entire life around winning her back. Your worth as a man is not defined by her attention. If you let your entire world revolve around her, you'll appear weak and dependent, which is the opposite of what attracts a woman. Women want a man who is secure, strong, and independent. They're drawn to men who have their own life, their own interests, and their own purpose. And when you start to put your life on pause waiting for her to come around, you lose that attractive energy. Here's the simple truth. You need to stop acting like her silence is the end of the world. When a woman pulls away, it's easy to get caught up in it emotionally. You start to think that everything has to be about getting her back into your life, but that's the wrong mentality. Instead, focus on your life and show her that your world doesn't revolve around her. This is how you keep your power in the situation. Start by re-engaging with your passions, hobbies, and interests. Think about what you enjoyed doing before she entered the picture. Whether it's sports, writing, building your business, or spending time with friends, immerse yourself in these activities again. By doing this, you create an environment where your happiness isn't tied to her attention. When she sees that you're actively pursuing your goals and enjoying your life without her, it will force her to evaluate her own feelings. You don't need to be cold or distant, but rather show her that you're a man who's busy, driven, and committed to improving yourself. This doesn't mean you have to ignore her or act like you don't care. It's about demonstrating that your life is fulfilling, regardless of what she's doing. Women find men who are fulfilled and driven more attractive than men who are just sitting around waiting for them to call. When you're busy doing your own thing, it sends a powerful message. You're a man who doesn't need her to validate your existence. This doesn't mean that you don't care about her or that you don't want her in your life. It just means that you have enough going on in your own life to where you're not dependent on her for emotional fulfillment. She'll notice this strength, and that's what draws her back in. Think about it. Have you ever been in a situation where someone was so available to you that you started to take them for granted? This happens all the time in relationships. The more available you make yourself to someone, the less they value your time and attention. Women especially tend to value a man who has his own life. They want to know that they're not the center of your world, that you can live without them if necessary. This makes you more attractive because it demonstrates strength, independence, and self-respect. 7. Build your confidence and let it speak for itself. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities a man can possess, especially when it comes to handling situations like a woman pulling away. The moment she goes silent, most men react by feeling uncertain or insecure, questioning what they did wrong. But here's the truth. Women are attracted to men who are unshakable in their confidence. When you build genuine confidence, it allows you to stand tall, regardless of whether she's in your life or not. Confidence isn't something you fake or try to force. It's something you develop through your actions, your mindset, and how you carry yourself. It's not about being boastful or arrogant. It's about knowing your worth and owning who you are. When you show this kind of confidence, it communicates to her that you don't need her approval to feel good about yourself. Women are naturally drawn to this kind of strength. Confidence creates a sense of security, not just for you, but for her as well. It signals that you can handle life's ups and downs without losing your composure. One way to build this confidence is to shift your focus back onto yourself. Rather than obsessing over why she's not texting or calling, take that energy and put it into something that makes you a better man. Whether it's improving your physical appearance, focusing on your career, or picking up new hobbies. The key is to create a life where you're constantly growing and improving. Every step you take toward bettering yourself builds your self-esteem and reinforces the fact that you're a man of value. It's also important to understand that confidence comes from knowing that you can survive without anyone. You don't need her to be happy, and you don't need her to validate your worth. When you're truly confident, you start to see her absence as an opportunity to focus on yourself and grow. You know that if she returns, she's lucky to be in your world. And if she doesn't, that's okay, because your life is still fulfilling and moving forward. One of the best ways to boost your confidence is to keep a positive mindset. Don't dwell on the fact that she's not reaching out or that she's pulling away. Instead, remind yourself of your achievements and strengths. Look at the areas in your life where you've succeeded and continue to build on them. Every time you face adversity, remind yourself that you have the ability to overcome it. This positive self-talk will reinforce your belief in yourself, and that belief will be noticeable to her. Another critical element in building confidence is body language. The way you carry yourself speaks volumes. When you walk into a room with your head held high, shoulders back, and a sense of purpose, people, especially women, can't help but notice. You don't need to say a word. Your body language tells her that you are a man who is sure of himself and doesn't rely on anyone for validation. This silent confidence is far more powerful than any words you could say. In the end, when she's doing no contact with you, it's not the end of the road, it's your opportunity to step up. By focusing on yourself, maintaining your independence, and building genuine confidence, you make yourself more valuable. Stop chasing, stop obsessing, and let her see your life moving forward without her. This shift in mindset not only keeps your power, but also makes you more attractive to her. When she returns, it's because she recognizes the man you've become, one who doesn't need her to complete him. Stay strong, stay focused, and let her come.